Hi, my name is Aditi Janeja. I'm a co-creator of the Resistance Manual, and I'm here today to help explain FISA and FISC. FISA is the Foreign Intelligence Service Act, and FISC are the Foreign Intelligence Service Courts. FISC is a part of FISA. The FISC courts were created under FISA, and FISA was created in response to Richard Nixon's abuse of our intelligence apparatus, of our national security apparatus, which was Watergate. So the goal of the courts is to create some due process, to create some rights, to create some process when the federal government wants to surveil people, particularly American citizens. And so what it does is it creates a forum. The FISC courts are a forum when you have highly sensitive information, when you have information that is classified or relates to national security, rather than going to a judge in a normal federal court who does not have security clearances, who, even if they issue a gag order so that the warrant or order is not public, there are people within the office who may still have access to that information. This is to create a separate forum where the people who are handling the information have been cleared in a more scrutinized way, and where the information is accessible to fewer people. With this said, there's still information that we do know about FISC and the courts. Namely, we know who the judges are on those courts. We know how many courts there are, how many judges there are. We know how many warrants get issued a year. We know how many warrants get denied a year. One of the criticisms of FISC and FISA is that these courts turn down relatively few requests for warrants. Federal prosecutors, on the other hand, would argue that the reason that they get turned down so infrequently is because they avoid using FISC, the FISC courts, and prefer to go through more transparent courts, which are the regular federal courts. And so the federal prosecutors might argue that the reason that they are so rarely denied a warrant is because they exercise extreme caution when requesting one. It's a matter of debate, it's a matter of opinion, and it's a little bit hard to know. What we do need to know for this current political moment is that in order to obtain a FISA warrant, or to obtain a warrant from a FISC court, you need to meet the same level of scrutiny as you would in any other court, and that is probable cause. Probable cause is not cause beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the standard for a conviction. It is probable cause, meaning that you can convince a judge, kind of with probability, with reasonableness, that you believe that the individual who you're seeking information about, that there's a reason that you're seeking that information. So, for example, you can't just go in and say, I have a hunch that this person's up to no good. You need to have some sort of proof. You need to be able to say, well, I know this person is connected to X, Y, and Z individuals. This is how I know that information. I have heard that they have engaged in these types of contacts from this type of source, and now I want to have access to certain types of records in order to confirm what I have been told. It doesn't necessarily need to follow that kind of pattern, but the point is that you have to have some sort of reason to believe and to request that information in order to convince a judge to sign off on the warrant. Through FISA and FISC, you can request access to different types of information that law enforcement may not otherwise have access to because of privacy rights. For example, you could request access to do a physical search of a location, someone's home, someone's office, something like that. You can request access to electronic records, so that might include things like emails or text messages. And finally, you could request ongoing surveillance capabilities for things like monitoring someone's phone calls. That's like, the wire, track and trace. And now with emerging technologies, there are other, of course, spaces where one might request access to information in digital media and social media. I hope that this was helpful and useful in understanding what FISA is, what FISC is. I'm not going to really discuss Carter Page specifically because we don't have a lot of information about it. One thing I will note is that FISC court warrants are secret warrants. They're not warrants that are made available to the public. And whoever provided this information to the Washington Post is likely in violation of the law. There are federal whistleblower statutes where if you're providing information because of wrongdoing and to assist in public good, you may be allowed some protections. I'm not sure that would apply here, given the nature of that you're not revealing kind of information that was internal to like an agency of the federal government like the EPA, but rather an order, a warrant, where a court has determined that it is not publicly available information. So I hope that this was helpful. You can find more information in the link in this post about Russian election interference on the Resistance Manual. You can visit resistancemanual.org. You can follow us on Twitter at resistmanual, or you can look us up on Facebook for more information. Thank you.